Sup guys, it's Kosh, and it's Diablo 4 rogue build, the best build you can get to level 50 and beyond. I think it's really powerful. Just take a look how I use it to destroy the bosses and normal enemies, and you will love it. And then we'll move on to the actual build. Alright guys, we are at Lilith's place, and let's see how it will go. So it's me against the god. I will use the same build. And look at the damage we're doing. I don't even move. I just attack her. And that's it. We already got her through, what, half of her health? I don't know. I don't even use potions. I don't need to. If we want to attack the... Okay, there are minions. If we want to attack them, we use the ability to blow everyone up. Bam, bam, bam. Simple. The Kubus here. Get our... partner out here. Let's go. Lilith, you don't stand a chance. Now we got a skill to do the infinite amount of energy strikes. So yeah, as you can see guys, with this build, no fight is hard. I used health potion just in case so I won't die. Okay, a bit more evasion. I know this is not the maximum difficulty, of course. Should be harder on the harder difficulties, but I mean, that should be at least challenging or something. Look at that, she's almost down now. Oh my god, don't tell me I'll take her out just like that. Will there be a second? Ah, she's down. Lilith is down in like few minutes. Maybe a minute, I don't know. Where's my loot? Okay, that's not it. There is a second part of the fight as well, which is pretty cool because I was really upset how easy it was. We'll go with the same tactics using our twin shadow. Our skills to... Wait, where are you? Come back. Oh. Here she is. To do damage to Lilith again, 25% of your health is down. And I'll be honest with you guys, I died once. That red area where Lilith is, that will disappear, bam. And if you stay there, you will instantly die. So that's how I died on my first try, because, well, I was careful enough. I can even use some healing. That's nice, at least I use some healing here. Let's get a twin out to do the maximum DPS. My god, she's gone again. Alright, I wanna try to be as healthy as possible. I mean, you should avoid that area, but I wanna show you how overpowered this build is. If I would have ranged abilities, I could shoot her, but I don't. Let's go! That should end her, I think. Or it will end me. Oh, that's a very powerful strikes. But... yeah, Lilith is gone. As you can see, guys, it wasn't that challenging. I think she's gone for good now. So the big groups of enemies will be your favorite treat because they will be destroyed so easily and fast that you won't even notice them being destroyed. And you will get all that tasty loot around you, no problem. So what's so special about this build? It's pretty easy and straightforward. Consider this a step-by-step guide. So first things first, you get this puncture skill. This is a pretty good skill. It's ranged, it does quite a good damage, and it also slows enemies, which will help you with things like taking out enemies easier. And it will recover a lot of energy because it will gain 2 energy when puncture damaged a crowd-controlled enemy. As for the additional 3rd tier upgrade, I went with the 3 blades in a spread that will give us even more energy regen and will make enemies vulnerable as well, which is really nice. So this is a very useful thing that will be used when you don't use your main skill, so from time to time, but it's very convenient. Next one is twisting blades. By the way guys, when you build in your build, you get 1 of each. You don't go like full level, you get 1 of each perks and then move on to the next area, so don't overspend on one thing. Twisting blades, your bread and butter skill, the main damage skill. You impale enemy with your blades and that deals some damage, making them take more damage from you while impaled, and after some time, those blades will return doing additional damage to the enemies while passing through them. Moreover, they will, well, that's additional damage for the returning. Important thing is here, when they return, they will reduce the cooldown of your active skills while doing damage while passing through the enemies. That will help with your cooldowns. Now, here we got the passive Sturdy and Siphoning Strikes. Those are very important because they will give you survivability. Sturdy will give you just close damage reduction. It's not that important, while Siphoning Strikes are very good. They will recover percentage of your health, per critical strike, which is insane because you will be massacring the enemies, and that will, well, that will give you quite a lot of life regen. Really, really good. I advise to get at least one perk early on, because if you have issues with survivability, when you get these, things will change. I was dying a lot and I was like, this build sucks, before I got those two perks, and I was like, yeah, now we're talking. Next one are agility skills, and here you will take Shadow Step, and you will take Dash, and you will take Enchant Dash here, so the enemies will get increased critical damage. It's not that necessary, it's not top priority, you just need the Dash for mobility and Shadow Step to go behind the enemy. So you use Dash together with your Dodge skill to move away from the danger, and sometimes to spread, we'll talk about that in a second, to spread your skills on the enemy. Shadow Step is to go behind the enemy, and what's cool that you got a higher critical chance against the enemy who are being attacked by Shadow Step for 3 seconds, and they can be stunned as well, so that will allow you to take out elite enemies easier, basically. You don't take any of those, at least not yet. Weapon mastery, not priority. It will give you higher damage, but I don't think it's very important, so early on don't go for it, just go for one of each. Here, for the second tier, I didn't took it yet because I don't think that I need it that much. I'll take Discipline Dash, I think, because that will allow me to get enemy slowed down and dazed. More crowd control can be useful for some perks and stuff. Now let's move on to subterfuge skills. As you can see, we don't have any, we just have some exploit to do more damage to healthy and injured enemies, and have more damage to vulnerable enemies. Now those are not top priority as well, so before you will unlock imbument skills, you can easily, well, I would advise going for siphoning strikes, to be honest and sturdy. That will save you so much trouble later on, but decide for yourself where you want to put those points before that. Once you unlock imbument, you want to get shadow imbument, because this one is like bread and butter, cookie cutter skill of this build. You will get shadow imbument, and the enemies, they will blow up after that, basically doing crazy damage. Really nice, very powerful. This is like the main damaging skill. So you get this, then you get Enchant Shadow Imbuement. That will increase critical strike chance against injured enemies infected by Shadow Imbuement. That means healing for us. And then Blended Shadow Imbuement, that will make enemies vulnerable after the primary explosion. That will allow us to do more damage to them and have ability to exploit vulnerable mechanics. And then we get some of those. Shadow Crash. Lucky Hit Shadow damage has up to 10% chance to stun enemies. This is pretty neat. I will level up later as well, because now I got the Lucky Hit bonus. But what's most important are consuming shadows. Each time you kill an enemy with the shadow damage, you generate 30 energy. And as you can guess, that will kill a lot of enemies, and that will allow us to get more energy to use this skill over here, Twisting Blade. So that's very good for energy generation. Now I also have some of that precision imbuement here, so improved skills will get critical strike chance higher, but that's definitely not top priority. That's like a very secondary thing. Now ultimate, for ultimate we go for Shadow Clone, then we go for Prime Shadow Clone, and then we go for Supreme Shadow Clone. Those will help your Shadow Clone to be more powerful, and it's very, very good skill. After I've got everything, I've got a bit of innervation here, so Lucky Hit will recover some energy with some chance, and then I will go for Second Wind and Alchemist Fortune as well to get extra perks on the increasing Lucky Hit chance, basically bonus, and both of those are pretty good. I'm not sure if they're available or not, I just got them. Not sure if I want to keep them, so maybe I'll refund them later. As for the key passives, I went for Victimize, because that will allow us to do higher chance to cause an explosion on the vulnerable enemies, and as you learned already, we got plenty of vulnerable damage skills over here. So that's the build. We don't have Paragon yet, I'm like really close, but not there yet, level 49. But that's the skill that you have. Now, how do you use it? It's actually pretty straightforward. This is how my skill set looks like. My main attack is Puncture. We throw those things around. My secondary attack is Twisting Blades, so we poke enemies with it to do maximum damage and spend energy. That's the only energy spending skill that we have, so keep in mind, if you have full energy, press the right mouse button. Now, I got a dash move here. Another cool thing about the dash, that it will allow you to move around the area faster as well. So you use dodge, and you can use dash as well to travel around. Now when you get the enemy, you imbue your weapons with the shadow things and you just massacre them. I kinda like... I've got additional things here as well that will make it better. I'll talk about those in a second. Just now let's talk about the basics first. So yeah, since we got that bonus right now from time to time, that will allow us to have our skills without a cost, you just hold right mouse button and use the secondary attack on the enemies. So yeah, it all starts with you imbuing your weapons with shadow. Then if you got a lot of enemies, you dash through them. That will allow them all to be consumed by shadows, and then you go through them with your twisting blades and normal attacks to take them out. As for the shadow clone, I keep it for later. Like, it's for elite enemies and bosses, and sometimes if I'm just going through the enemy groups, I use it. Look at that. I'll show you. Bam, you do this, you do this. Now all the enemies are covered by shadows and they all blow up. So that's how you clear the area. Pretty easy. For the boss, you saw my little fight already. It's kind of the same. So sometimes you will use shadow step to get in range easier. That's very convenient. So pretty nice option. And yeah, after poking enemies with the twisting blades, try to make a range between them and other enemies and you, so you can get those bonuses of cooldown reduction. I usually don't do that, I'm too lazy for that, but you could try to do this. So we poke this guy a bit, then we go to those enemies and they are being destroyed by those blades, returning and also recover our cooldowns, which is really nice. Yeah, there we go, we poke him up and we took him down. So as simple as that, very straightforward, very easy. And you can see that I don't use healing potions because I heal by critical hits. Now, important thing that I use twisting blades bonus on my two-handed weapon. Why? Because that twisting blades will allow my twisting blades to do additional passive damage. That's really powerful. But you can see that the blades are orbiting me when I attack the enemies. So let me show you again. Bam, bam, bam. Here they are, wandering around and doing area damage. Very convenient. So I advise you guys to get it, well, not as soon as possible, but about at level 30-40. That will be really useful. I've got this crossbow. Oh, that's a new one actually. I thought I'm running the old one. Huh. So I've got this crossbow and it's really nice, and I use it quite a lot because of that. That's really convenient. And as for the crossbow, since the only skill that is being affected by your ranged weapon are your puncture, using the crossbow is better, because for the bow you got damage to distant enemies, which is not our case, but crossbow increase your damage against vulnerable enemies. So for the close range build, you really want to use the crossbow for sure. That bonus is way more efficient. Now, other imprints are different. I've got a lot of cool things here. If you need survivability bonus, you can get this one that will increase armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage. And since we do that much damage, that stacks up quite a lot. So let's take a look at our armor right now. 2.7k. Here is enemy group, so let's use up some damage and see how much. 2.7, right? So it got higher to 3.2 already, just by doing the basic damage to those guys without crazy stuff. So that's like, what, 10 to 20% increase on the small group of enemies. If you fight bigger group of enemies, that will be even higher, guys. So that's pretty nice. I even have momentum, key passive, which I don't use. So yeah, another good ability to heal is when you heal for life per second for each close enemy. That's passive region when you are in group of enemies. That's really nice. Dealing direct damage to vulnerable enemy, have increased chance to daze them. That will add additional crowd control to you. Imbument skill effect, have 39% increased potency against vulnerable enemies. Once again, pretty cool. Here, when casting imbument skill, you trigger an imbument explosion around yourself, applying imbument, blah blah blah. This is really good because when we use this shadow imbument, bam, we got a small explosion that actually poisons, well, puts shadow on everyone around us. That's really cool. And this one for energy regeneration for every life that you heal. Since we heal up a lot with the life drain abilities, that will allow us to get even more energy. On the weapons, I've got stun grenade, that's useless. Here we get skill, deal up to 11% more damage based on your primary resource. When you full on mana, that will help out quite a lot. And yeah, guys, I was surprised how powerful this build is. I die sometimes, yes I do, but that's usually when I'm just being one-shotted or something. I I just finished all the runs in the hell, like at the end game, and I killed all the bosses over there just by standing there and, you know, poking them with this skill and using the skills just like that. It was so easy. I was surprised how easy it was. Look at that. That's a huge amount of enemies here. And I haven't used the healing potion. That was the damage that I did that healed me. This is very, very OP build, I think. I think this is a bit unbalanced, to be honest. I don't know. It's way too easy to play like this. I didn't have any challenge on this difficulty at all. As for the specialization, I started with the combo points because they were more convenient. But as my attack speed increased, as I got more skills, as I got used to the build, I moved to inner sight, and that one seems to be way better because when you focus on that inner sight enemy with an eye and you do... Where are they? You do enough damage to them, you will get unlimited mana for sometimes that you can use to take out enemies, and that just melts bosses. It's really good against the bosses, basically. And yes, the mobility of this class is pretty crazy, so instead of just running like that, you can use this dash, and that's accelerating you before you get the mount. That's very convenient for moving around the areas. Take a look at this 26-second fight here, so... yeah, usually I think there is some challenge to it. I'm not sure if I have any challenge. I just roam around the enemies, use the skills, and enjoy the massacre. They die no problem, and that's not hard at all. And the armor, 3k, 3.1k, so really cool. As for the weapons, I kinda prefer daggers to this build because they increase damage to the close enemies, while swords increase critical strike damage. But yeah, if you increase damage to the close enemies, that means your critical will be higher as well. So it feels like more useful, but overall I just go for whatever is better for me right now, which have the higher stats, higher damage, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, guys, I think this is the best rogue build I ever played before. I tried like 4 of those during my gameplay, and this one is really OP, so let me know how do you like this down below in the comments. I really hope to play ranged rogue, but you know, things changed. Check out the video description with the playlist with more Diablo 4 guide. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will see more Diablo 4 guides and videos. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. That's about it for now. Stan Kosh out. Have a good one. Bye.